Today on the channel's Best of the Year list time once again, as in today's video, we're counting down my top 5 He-Man in the Masters Universe Masterverse figures of 2023.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Top 5 2023 Year-End Best Of Countdown. In today's video, we're talking He-Man Masters of the Universe Masterverse toy line, a line with a lot of peaks and valleys in 2023, some deep clearance peg warmers to some absolute heavy hitters, from Revelation series as well, from Netflix all the way to the new Eternia and all points in between. Target exclusives, at least temporary exclusives, a line of a lot of differences and a lot of changeover, a lot of peaks and valleys, as I did say. So a line that's not for everybody, but as we close out 2023, they're doing some of the best work they have had so far. For a lot of people that missed out on Masters Universe Classics, of course, this new Eternia line really hitting home for them. Even some that have the Classics are buying some of the new Eternia. So an interesting line in 2023, ups and downs aplenty, but today we're counting down the top 5 best from the Masterverse this year, and some all-timer figures were released this year, and some figures maybe we'd like to forget. And I think that's could be said about any toy line out there if they have a lot of figures over a good amount of time. But of course, you guys know how these lists work by now. This, of course, is my list. Put your list in the comments down below. Make sure you put them in order, 5 all the way up to number 1, with number 1 being the best Masterverse figure of 2023. If you want some playback, you want some refresher, go to the playlist on my channel. We've unboxed every single one of these. That's the beauty of these year-end countdowns, is it's stuff I have direct hand experience with outside of the package. I've played with these, I've done these, we've done reviews on these, so we can talk about these things. So it does look pretty good, and this lineup I think looks pretty good. For a lot of you guys will say, yeah, these are some of the best, no doubt about it. And like I said, this is my list. Put your list in the comments down below. But without further ado, let's dive into it. Let's kick it off at number 5. All right, we kick off the top 5 Masterverse figures of 2023. And number 5, possibly my favorite character as I've gotten older. It's one of those ones where he seemed kind of like an old man, but then, of course, as you become an old man over time, you can relate to this character a little bit more. And that's why at number 5 comes Man-at-Arms. Of course, not the first Man-at-Arms we've received from the Masterverse line, but new Eternia hitting a lot of hits, as we do know and we have seen here on the channel, especially in 2023. And this is one of the more recent figures released from the Masterverse. A very cool, classic feeling Duncan, of course, Man-at-Arms. And we got 2 head options with this one, which is pretty cool. You like him with a push broom, or you like him clean shaven. Choose your own Man-at-Arms adventure at the end of the day. But this one, looking so classic, but with a little bit of twist, a little bit of extra bells and whistles, made this a very fun figure in 2023, and one that really resonated with me. Like I said, a favorite all-time character of mine, especially in my advanced age as the years go by, a guy I can really have a nice rapport with. There you go. But coming in at number 5 for me is Man-at-Arms. The countdown continues, of course, into number 4. And the number 4 figure released very early on in 2023 when we did unbox this one. And I truly thought this might be the figure of the year. And that's usually what happens. You get something early in a year and you're like, there's no topping this. Well, then it gets topped. However, it was still good enough to stay in the top 5 list. Another favorite from my childhood in the Masterverse here. We did get Manny Faces. Loved Manny Faces as a kid. Love Manny Faces now. Hours of fun with this one as a kid because you could move his head around, change his head. We know the gimmick with Manny Faces by now. But a very welcome addition to the Masterverse line, new Eternia line, and an all-time classic one that really represents a classic look with a bit of a twist, as we do know we got his backpack full of extra heads, which I think was really cool. That was a great modern upgrade that we could do. Of course, you had the classic heads in there, but to be able to use different heads as well, I thought was a pretty cool addition by the Mattel team for the Masterverse. Of course, Manny Faces here. So an all-timer coming in hot at number 4, Manny Faces. We've hit the halfway point of our top 5 Masterverse figures. Once again, make sure you get your list in the comments down below. Make sure you put them in order. That is the hard part, but that is the fun part. And coming in hot at number 3, much like Manny Faces at number 4, this one came out, I want to say, summertime frame, something like that. What is time, as we do say. But this one really was a game changer, a favorite character of mine, much like Manny Faces when I was a kid, but I do think the Masterverse line did this guy justice, gave me exactly what I wanted, with a nod to the past, with a nod to the future as well. You could say a 2-in-1 figure, and who is it? Clawful. Clawful is kind of that next rung of villains. Of course, you got Skeletor, Evelyn at the top, Beastman, Merman, but then you get down to the Clawfuls of the world. And Clawful, a favorite of my childhood, one I was hoping we'd get in the Masterverse line. He did come as a deluxe figure in the year 2023. Just very cool all day long. If you're familiar with the character, you know exactly who this is. And of course, the big pincher lobster claw looking awesome. The head sculpt on this one, great. His classic weapon. Just an all-around good figure is this Clawful. One I was excited for, one that did not disappoint, one that comes in at number 3 in my top 5 countdown. Getting dangerously close to the top spot here at number 2. And as far as bad guys go, this guy's at the top of the list for me. One of my all-time favorites, once again, from when I was a little kid and the hours of fun I had with that figure. 2 here in 2023, very end of 2023, as we just recently unboxed this on the channel. So if you missed out, go check out the video on that one. But who are we talking about? We're talking about no stranger to any He-Man line. We're talking about Trapjaw. Trapjaw, one of the coolest Masters of the Universe characters, bar none, be it good guy or bad guy for me. Love the blue Smurf-like skin. Love the robot clamp jaw type mouth going on there. Of course, all the accessories on his arm. That's part of the hours of fun you had as a kid. And as I always say, who's fooling hours of fun right now? You even got that classic spot on the top of his helmet where you can put a little string through and have him glide on down. Just an all-timer. You get a sword, you get the Mouser, I guess we'll call it the Mouser mouth, as we do know that's coming in the Turtles thing in 2024. We got the blaster, the hook, all the classic accessories of this one. It really feels like what you think of when you were a little kid playing with your Trapjaw, and what you imagined as you were playing is this figure. Just an all-timer, a fun one. The minute I got it out of the package just a couple of weeks ago, I knew this was going to be on my top 5 list for year end, and here we are at number 2. There's only one ahead of it. Who's it going to be? Stay tuned. We've hit the number 1 spot. We're finally here. We're at the end of another countdown. As you guys know, we're counting down all of my favorite toy lines for 2023. A lot of best of content coming to the channel over the next month or so. So make sure you do subscribe. You don't want to miss out on any of these videos here. And in today's video, we're counting down, of course, the top 5 Masterverse figures of 2023. And this one at the top of the list from the get-go, just narrowly edging out the number 2, of course, that being Trapjaw. But another all-time favorite figure of mine. Maybe not all the bells and whistles for the original one, but one that is mean, one that is tough, one that'll ram your door down. That is Ramman, coming in at number 1, if you can believe that. Should be available at most Target stores right now if you're looking for this one. And like a lot of these figures we talked about here today, truly 2-in-1 figures. Different heads for them, different weapons, sometimes different body parts as well. Ramman, no different, but of course, you know I display him in his classic look. And there was just always something cool about Ramman, even as a kid. Always loved it. Of course, he had the mechanism to jump and kind of ram into people. We don't get that right here. However, this guy looks awesome on the shelf. A standout figure. I love the battle wornness, the dings, the dents, the dark wash over it. This isn't Ramman fresh off the boat. This is Ramman ready to throw down, take on Skeletor and his minions. Just an iconic version, a cool version, and one that fits perfect in my Masterverse and New Eternia collection. Just an all-time figure, and that's why he came in at number 1 for 2023. There has been one watch out. I've heard some chirping and some chattering out there, so your mileage may vary, but some people said the plastic on the legs has started to crack for some people. Obviously, that depends how you store these, what you do, how you play with them, things like that. I've had none of those problems on mine. If I did have those problems, if it was torn out of the package or something, that's something that might get him off my top 5 list. But I have none of those issues to report, so I can't say anything about that. But for where I'm sitting, right here at this table, as you guys know, this is my number 1 figure for 2023 for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line. So Ramman coming in hot at number 1. There it is. That's the top 5 Masterverse figures of 2023. Once again, put your list in the comments down below. Of course, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel or my other YouTube channel. Or don't forget to check out the Patreon for early access to both channels' videos. Get videos like this earlier than traditional YouTube. Head on over to Patreon and support the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media, SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads and on Instagram. So for the top 5 Masterverse figures of 2023, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.